Hello, welcome back students to my lecture. This is You are watching the video of course differential equation, and my channel's name is University Problem Solver. So quickly, if you are new or you haven't subscribed up till now, please go and subscribe this channel. This is very important because I teach here about the university exams and tips and tricks and all about that stuff. Please go and subscribe this channel. Now starting our lecture, this is the continuation of previous lecture, that is chapter 3, and we have solved our growth and decay problems, and now we will solve our half-life and carbon dating. So what actually is half-life? Half-life in physics. Half-life is a measure of the stability of a radioactive substance. The half-life is simply the time it takes for one half of the atoms in an initial amount A naught to disintegrate or transmute into the atoms of another element. The longer the half-life of a substance, the more stable it is. For example, the life of highly radioactive radium R226 is about 1700 years. In 1700 years, one half of the given quantity of Ra226 is transmuted into radion Rn222. The most commonly occurring uranium isotope, that is U-238, has a half-life of approximately 4.5 billion years. In about 4.5 billion years, one half of the quantity of U-238 is transmuted into lead, that is Pb206. So basically half-life is the time required for the atoms to disintegrate. And let's read this example and understand what the half-life and how the half-life questions can come in the exams. A breeder reactor converts relatively stable uranium-238 into the isotope plutonium-U-239. After 15 years, it is determined that 0.043% of the initial amount of A naught of plutonium has disintegrated. Find the half-life of this isotope if the rate of disintegration is proportional to the amount remaining. So in the last line, it has given that the rate of disintegration, that dA by dt, is directly proportional to the amount remaining. And in the second line, it has given that at time t is equal to 15 years, the amount that is disintegrated amount is equal to 0.0443%. But this is not the amount disintegrated, this is the amount present. So amount present, we need to find the present amount at 15 years. So present amount will be equal to, we know that total is 100%, so 100 minus 0.043, so A at 15 years will be equal to 99.957%. So first one condition is this, and the other condition is that is always the same in half-life equation, that at time t is equal to 0, our amount is equal to the number of mounts present at the time, number of atoms present at the time, such that at t is equal to 0, our A is equal to A naught. Now we have two initial conditions. We can easily solve this equation. Solving the equation dA by dt, removing the proportionality, we have a constant of proportionality and equality sign, and the solving this equation dA by dt minus Ka is equal to 0. You can solve it by linear equation or by separable variable. So I will use here separable variable. I will use here linear equations. So identifying p of x, that is minus k, p of t, then taking the integration, it is minus kt. What is the integration factor? Integration factor is equal to e raised to the power minus kt. Now multiply the integration factor by the whole equation, so our left hand side will become d by dt e raised to the power minus tk and a, that is equal to multiplying 0 by integration factor, that is 0. So integration of both the sides, e raised to the power minus tk a is equal to c, a is equal to c e raised to the power minus plus tk. Now this is the equation. As you know that if the problem is growth or decay, or half-life or disintegration or carbon dating, your equation is always the same. So these are the same steps. In previous lecture I have also derived this and derive this expression, that is the same expression. So for growth and decay this expression is same. So and now for the half-life problems, as we know that the initial value is always this. So putting this value into this equation, so A is equal to A naught C. So putting this value into this equation, so our equation will become A naught e raised to the power tk. This is the equation for the half-life. This is the same for the every question. What will change is that the value of k will change, and that will depend upon the initial condition. So finding the value of k, so at t is equal to 15 year, A is equal to 99.957. so 99.957 is equal to percent of A naught is equal to A naught e raised to the power tk. So t here is 15, putting in the value of t 15, and now 0.99957 is equal to e raised to the power 15. Okay, now solving this expression, so of my k value came is that minus 0.0002867. You can easily find the value of k by taking the log of both the sides. If you do not know how to solve the expression, tell me in the comment, I will solve for you. Now putting the value of k into this expression, so our final expression will become A naught e raised to the power minus 0.0002867 into t. Now this is the equation for our question. We have to find the half-life of this element. So at half-life, so we need to find the time, but we know that at half-life the amount is reduced by the half of the original amount. So putting this value into this equation, so we can find our t. That is also very algebraic steps only. So 1 by 2 A naught is equal to A naught e raised to the power minus 0.0004 times 0.2767 to t. So solving the equation for t, so my t is equal to 24,180 years. You can easily solve this equation. Now this is the answer of this equation. So it means that after 24,180 years our atoms will become half of the original atom present at that time. Similarly, now start another topic, and that is carbon dating. So I will explain you what the carbon dating is first, and then we'll solve an example of carbon dating. So about 1950, the chemist Willard Libby devised a method of using radioactive carbon as a mean of determining the approximate age of fossils. The theory of carbon dating is based on the fact that the isotope carbon-14 is produced in the atmosphere by the action of cosmic radiation on nitrogen. The ratio of the amount of C14 to ordinary carbon in the atmosphere appears to be constant, and as a consequence the proportionate amount of the isotope present in all the living organisms is the same as that in the atmosphere. When an organism dies, the absorption of C14 by either breathing or eating ceases. Thus, by comparing the proportionate amounts of C14 present, say, in the fossil fuel with the constant ratio found in the atmosphere, it is possible to obtain a reasonable estimation of the fossil's age. The method is based on the knowledge that the half-life of the radioactive C14 is approximately 56,000 years. You need to remember the half-life of carbon, and that is 56,000 years. For carbon dating, you have been not given the value of half-life, so you need to remember this value, that this is the value of at when half of the carbon atom disintegrate. So for his work, Libby won the Nobel Prize for Chemistry in 1960, and Libby's method has been used to date wooden furniture in Egyptian tombs and the woven flax warpings of the Dead Sea Scrolls and the cloth of enigmatic shroud of Turin. So how the questions will come, and that's the important stuff here. So this is the example. So we need to determine the age of the fossil fuel. What the question says is that a fossilized bone is found to contain 1,000 of the C14 level found in the living matter. So our A is equal to 1,000 of the A naught. This is the only condition given. A naught is the original amount, and in the question given that 1,000 of C14 is found at that time. So we have to find the age, such that we have to find the age. It means that at what time our original amount, our atoms will become 1,000 of the original atom. So in the previous lecture we have in the lecture we have devised this equation, and I said that this equation will be the same for the growth and decay problem. So using this equation now directly, so A is equal to A naught e raised to the power kt. So we have to find the value of k. We have nothing, we have given sorry, we have not given any initial value condition, but we know that the half life of carbon, that I said you need to remember this value, that at t is equal to 56,000 years our A will become 1/2 of the A naught. Putting these two values in this equation, we find the value of k. So 1/2 A naught is equal to A naught e raised to the power 56,000 t. This will cancel, so our t will become, our k, so here is k, t, put the value of t, so here k, so our k value will become minus 0.00012378. Put this value into our original equation, so our A naught will become, A naught e raised to the power minus 0.00012375 times t. This equation is the carbon dating equation. This equation will be the same. You don't need to remember this equation, you just need to remember the half life of carbon, and this is the equation of growth and decay. So now what is asked is that we need to find the value when our atoms remains 1,000 of the original atom. So putting the value of this into this equation, so this is equal to 1,000 of the A naught is equal to A naught e raised to the power minus 0.00012375 t. So this will be cancelled, and now solving equation for t, so our t is equal to the 55,800 years. This is our final answer. So our age of the fossil fuel is about 55,800 years. So if you have not learned, or if you have not understand any part of this lecture, please do let me know in the comment section. And if you haven't subscribed the channel, please subscribe the channel. And if you have any question or query of, as I directly go from this step to this step, if you do not know, please tell me in the comment section. So another thing is that this is the interesting fact about the carbon dating. So the accuracy of this method is a border. You can use the half life of the carbon up to 50,000 years. If the answer is greater than 15,000 years, then we are really concerned about the accuracy, because 1/1000 of A naught is very small quantity, and we do not have the values to how this value came. This is very precise method needed to determine this small amount. So but in the modern techniques as we have developed is that the techniques that involve particular accelerator, by using particular accelerator and modern techniques, we have increased our accuracy up to 70,000 years to 1 lakh years. But previously we have only the accuracy up to 50,000 years, because 1/1000 A naught is so small amount that we have to integrate the large amount of sample. So therefore we have devised new techniques, and that is particle accelerator and several more. So we have increased our accuracy up to 7,000 to 1 lakh years. But similarly other techniques involve potassium 40 and argon 40, that can give an age of million years. Um, this is the fact, interesting fact. So thank you. If you have any question, please ask me, and next we will start and Newton's law of cooling and warming. So thank you.